The two Koreas, once united but now separated by the DMZ. On the one hand, you have North Korea, and the other, South. Even though they share the same language, their cultures have drifted apart. South Korea, being the US ally, is more open to the world for trade and is liberal. North Korea is a dictatorial government, currently led by Kim Jong-un. Nowadays, there are many differences between the North and South, and not many people know much about North Korea, as very little tourists, or pretty much anybody from the outside, are allowed in to the country. This makes North Korea sort of a mystery, and this is why I chose North Korea as a country for my project, because the differences in the have and have-nots between the North and the South extend way over the economic situation of the two countries. But seeing that we're talking about the economy, let's just jump into that right now. So as you may know, the South Korean economy is pretty big. It includes big household names known all over the world, such as the Samsung Group, who do not only create mobile phones or washing machines, but also produce tanks, life insurance, and have a financial sector as well. Samsung makes up for 15% of all of South Korea's revenue. Other big companies are also car companies like Hyundai and Kia, and POSCO, who create steel and iron. SK Hynix is another very big company who works in the finance sector. Shipbuilding is an industry that both economies share, and it has boomed in Korea since the end of the Korean War in the 1960s. The North Korean economy, on the other hand, is much poorer and also deals in other sectors, while the South Korean economy mainly focused in automobiles, telecommunications and shipbuilding. The North Korean economy is centered in military and mining. Other than that, the North Korean economy only has tidbits and small factories here, as they export much less than the South Korean economy. While the North Korean exports are just under $5 billion, the South Korean exports are worth almost 1.5 trillion US dollars. That is, of course, just a sample. There are many other factors that contribute to how big a country's economy is, but just to put it into perspective, the South Korean economy is 300 times bigger than its North Korean counterpart. Now we're going to leave the economy and the financial status of the two countries, because those build up the obvious have and have-nots, just like how much money does a country have, can you buy this, can you buy that, I have this and you don't have that, and so I am a better country. But that is not always the case. Culture also plays a big role in both of the countries, and the North Korean culture is unique, to say the least. In North Korea, their leader Kim Jong-un is regarded as a god, and his whole family live in utter luxury, adored by all the citizens of their country. From birth, every North Korean gets indoctrinated in the North Korean philosophy and way of thinking. Everything that is done in North Korea is for their great leader, and North Korea also has great schools. Many of the best musicians in the world come from North Korea. I think it is fair to say that North Korean schools generally teach you more, but in a different way. In a state-controlled environment where you learn for the state, you are forced to develop the skill you're best at. This is how a Vice reporter who had the privilege to travel to North Korea put it.
You know, the best needle pointers are needle pointing away, and the best guitar players are playing, accordion players, pianists, the best at computer graphics, whatever. They have people for enunciation.
This type of absolute government-controlled education serves, I guess, its purpose because everybody is literary, everybody can write, everybody can read, everybody can play a musical instrument in North Korea, because they were first forced to learn one by King Jong-il at school. And that creates a society that have very, very talented people in each one of our subjects. And one of those subjects is gymnastics. And now we'll look at the world famous Aryang Games, which is the biggest mass gymnastics spectacle on the planet.
The Aryang Games, or the famous mass gymnastics, are 120,000 people who work for about 2 years to do this incredibly elaborate, choreographed, sort of Andrew Lloyd Webber extravaganza, but on acid. You're sitting on a dais reserved for Kim Jong-il, and you see the most insane thing you've ever seen in your life.
So now you might be asking yourself, well, that's all nice and good. We have Aryan Games, we have very good schools for, people who want to extend their talents, and so I guess that's what North Korea has over South Korea. But in the end, what they both share is the struggle and the need for unification, because both countries want to be reunified, and they would want to be reunified peacefully. The problem is they want different things from each other, and that's why it's a problem at the moment. This is what my friend Hyang Ho says, who attended Zurich International School and then left for Korea a few years ago. When asked about how the South Koreans view the North Koreans, he responded with this, saying that South Koreans do like North Koreans generally, and that if they would get reunified after the dictator dies, it would take years for Korea to stabilize, but they would become stronger together and stabilize as a country and as a region. Also, when asked for another reason why South Korea should reunify itself to North Korea, seeing that they are leaps and bounds ahead in terms of technology or the economy in general, and he responded that the resources and the nuclear power, as well as their goal unified, would make Korea a stronger, safer, and better country to live in. Probably the biggest reason why South Korea wants to be reunified, though, has nothing to do with economy or anything, is because many South and North Koreans share the same families, the same roots, and the same blood, and they were separated during the Korean War, and they are only allowed to see each other during certain time. And this draws a conclusion to my video about the have and have-nots between North and South Korea, two countries now that have been split apart and have changed over the 50 or so years that they have been apart, and distinctive benefits and not so beneficial benefits have shown themselves in the course of the history of North Korea. And so I'd like to thank you for watching. Miss Dalton, Mr. Friesen, and I hope you enjoyed.